1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister says technical and technological education will be promoted to guide the country towards knowledge-based economy. Pakistan and Kuwait have underscored the need for increasing cooperation in the fields of education, health, trade and economy. The Foreign Minister has urged the international community to play its due role for the resolution of the Kashmir dispute as per the United Nations Security Council resolutions. Air Marshal Zahir Ahmed Babar Sidhu took charge as the new chief of the Pakistan Air Force today. A two-day meeting of the Indus Water Commissioners of Pakistan and India will begin at New Delhi on Tuesday. The United States, Russia, China and Pakistan have urged the Afghan government and the Taliban to strike a speedy deal to end the violence and reach a negotiated settlement. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has said technical and technological education will be promoted to guide the country towards knowledge-based economy. He said this while addressing a ceremony after inaugurating the new academic block of the Malakand University today. The Prime Minister stressed that education is a must to uplift a society. He said apart from technical education, special programs are also being launched in the universities to acquaint the youth about Islamic values and teachings of the Holy Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Khatamun Nabiyyin. He said the Al-Qadir University is being established with the same purpose, while the Namal University Miyawali will be made a knowledge city. Imran Khan said the government is giving special emphasis to industrialization as well as the agriculture and tourism sectors to take the country forward. Prime Minister Imran Khan said the government has launched mega projects such as Ravi City and business districts in Lahore for wealth creation. The Prime Minister said unprecedented incentives have also been given to the construction sector, which will help uplift the industries allied to this sector. He said we are also executing low-cost housing projects. Later, the Prime Minister inaugurated the Sawat Expressway and reviewed 3 completed tunnels on the occasion. The Attorney General Khalid Javed Khan called on the Prime Minister Imran Khan in Islamabad today. Legal and legislative matters were discussed during the meeting. Pakistan and Kuwait have underscored the need for increasing cooperation in the field of education, health, trade and economy. This was discussed at a meeting between the President Dr. Arif Alvi and the visiting Foreign Minister of Kuwait, Sheikh Dr. Ahmad Nasir al-Muhammad al-Ahmad al-Jabir al-Sabah, who called on him in Islamabad today. Both the sides discussed the existing level of cooperation and agreed to further expand bilateral ties for the mutual benefit of the two brotherly countries. Talking to the Foreign Minister of Kuwait, the President offered that Pakistan could provide skilled labor and other professionals to Kuwait. The President told the delegation that Pakistan could provide training to the military personnel of Kuwait at its military training institutes. He said Pakistan's geo-economic importance has increased due to China-Pakistan Economic Corridor and Gwadar Port, and Kuwait could benefit of the emerging economic opportunities by making investment in different projects under CPAC. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi says Pakistan attaches special importance to bilateral relations with the United Kingdom. This was stated by him during a meeting with the British High Commissioner to Pakistan, Dr. Christian Turner, who called on him in Islamabad. During the meeting, both the sides discussed bilateral and regional issues, including Afghan peace process in detail. They also agreed to further enhance relations in all areas of mutual interest, drawing attention towards the Indian atrocities in the illegally Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The Foreign Minister urged the international community to play its due role for the resolution of the Kashmir dispute as per the United Nations Security Council resolutions. On the occasion, the British High Commissioner commended Pakistan's conciliatory efforts for peace in Afghanistan. Air Marshal Zahir Ahmed Babar Sidhu took charge as the new chief of the Pakistan Air Force at an impressive change of command ceremony in Islamabad today. On the occasion, the outgoing Air Chief, Air Marshal Mujahid Anwar Khan, pinned badges on the new Air Chief and presented him the command sword. The outgoing Air Chief also inspected the Guard of Honor, while a formation of JF-17 Thunder fighter jets presented salute to him. In his address on the occasion, the outgoing Air Chief Mujahid Anwar Khan said Pakistan Air Force is a strong element of national defense and a pride of the nation. He said the Air Force once again lived up to the expectations of the nation and proved to be the guardians of blue skies in the Operation Swift Retort. He said our response was timely and well calibrated, which kept the adversary at bay. This is Radio Pakistan. A two-day meeting of the Indus Water Commissioners of Pakistan and India will begin at New Delhi on Tuesday next. At the weekly news briefing in Islamabad today, the Foreign Office spokesperson Zahid Hafiz Chaudhry said Pakistan delegation will be led by its Commissioner for Indus Waters, Syed Mahar Ali Shah. The spokesperson said a host of issues under the Indus Waters Treaty, including our objections on the designs of Pakal Dal and Lower Kalnai hydropower plants, supply of information on new Indian projects on the western rivers, and supply of flood data by India will be discussed during the meeting. When asked about the recent statement of the Indian Foreign Secretary about Pakistan, the spokesperson said such statements are indeed not helpful in the resolution of disputes and are a hurdle in the way of peace and stability in the region. Zahid Hafiz Chaudhry said Jammu and Kashmir is an internationally recognized dispute and said such statements are a reflection of India's self-serving state of denial with regard to Jammu and Kashmir dispute. He said Pakistan has always underscored the need for a meaningful dialogue and peaceful resolution of all outstanding disputes with India. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, people held massive rallies and demonstrations in Srinagar and other areas of the territory against the sacrilegious act of the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh Pawn, Wasim Rizvi, and India's illegal occupation. The protesters raised pro-Islam, pro-freedom and anti-India slogans. They also demanded hanging of blasphemer Wasim Rizvi. Meanwhile, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference Working Vice Chairman Ghulam Ahmed Gulzar expressed serious concern over the deteriorating health of many illegally detained Hurriyat leaders languishing in different jails of Indian illegally occupied Kashmir and India. Hurriyat leader Javed Ahmed Mir said Modi-led fascist government is using judiciary and black laws against resistance leaders as a tool to suppress the Kashmiris' freedom movement. The Afghanistan Peace Conference in Moscow has urged the Afghan government and Taliban leaders to strike a speedy deal to end the violence and reach a negotiated settlement and permanent and comprehensive ceasefire. This was stated in a joint statement released by the United States, Russia, China, and Pakistan at the conclusion of the conference hosted by Russia. The event was attended by representatives of the Afghan government, prominent Afghan political figures, and representatives of the Taliban, as well as Qatar and Turkey as guests of honor. In Myanmar, security forces shot dead 9 more protesters in the central town of Angban as they tried to clear a barricade. Human rights group Assistance Association for Political Prisoners, in a report, said 217 people have been killed in Myanmar since the 1st of February military coup in February. The report said over 2,000 people were also detained, convicted, or sentenced in cases related to protests against the military coup. The first high-level talks between China and the United States are underway. after delegations from both the countries strongly criticized each other's policy during the meeting's opening session in Alaska. The American Secretary of State Tony Blinken and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan are leading the American delegation at the two-day meeting with Chinese counterparts Wang Yi and Yang Jiechi in Anchorage, Alaska. And finally, the weather. Partly cloudy weather is expected in western and upper districts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, rain thunderstorm is expected in northwest Balochistan, Upper Sindh, Kashmir, Gilgit-Baltistan, Islamabad, Pothohar region, and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa during evening and night time. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.